In today's video, I want to talk about the story we know so far of our two main characters, Jason and Lucia, thanks to all the details we know from the in-game artwork and the first trailer. So it certainly looks like with this trailer, Rockstar was trying to make Lucia a little bit more of the main star of the show, more than Jason. Now, not saying that Jason isn't going to play a big role, and I'm assuming when it's all said and done, it's relatively going to be 50-50, but the entire thing starts off with her being in jail, or at least incarcerated. There's various different types of prisons. The only thing we can see on the back of her shirt says inmate, and we can also see that she's with other people. Now, we don't know if it's only females, if it's male and female. It looks like she has another person in her jail cell due to the fact that there is a bunk bed. But either way, what we're looking at right here is not like a maximum security prison where she's looking at like years of isolation or years behind bars. And the reason we know that is because she is immediately meeting with someone that works at the jail. Her name is Stephanie. She is a counselor, and it looks like she's providing, at least based on the way this conversation is going, getting Lucia out and back into the real world. And she asked Lucia a question. She says, "Do you know why you're here?" And Lucia responds with bad luck, I guess. So from this, we can kind of speculate that maybe Lucia is in jail for a more simple crime. Maybe wrong place, wrong time, where someone else was committing a crime and she just happened to be at the scene of it and thus was also thrown in jail, or has a history of repeating sort of minor crimes. Just based on the way Lucia looks right here, it doesn't look like A, she is that old, or B, seems like she is that much of a violent criminal. In fact, in this shot, she's not even wearing handcuffs, so she's able to meet with this person and she isn't even fully restrained. We can see her hands and arms moving around. The counselor at this prison or jail, Stephanie, doesn't really feel like she looks like she's in all that much danger talking to Lucia. So we do know at some point in time, Lucia is going to be in jail. She's going to be incarcerated. And obviously, we know that she's going to get out. And this is where I want to jump to the artwork that Rockstar has provided, because this actually gives us a key indicator at how Lucia's story might end up going. So as you guys can see in the artwork here, which we'll actually go back to a little bit later on, Lucia has an ankle monitor on her right ankle. And essentially, you're given one of these if you're let out or released from jail or prison, but the state or the government or the judge, whoever has decided your fate, they want you to remain in a certain area. And that might be staying within your own residence. It might be staying within a state. It might be staying within a country. It all really varies. Now, just some pure speculation on how this might impact the gameplay, I could personally see this locking down a certain portion of the map until that ankle monitor is removed, whether it's by force or whether someone legally does it for her. We could see kind of Rockstar going back to the style of map we saw in Grand Theft Auto 4 and in GTA Vice City, where you were locked to a portion, and then as you completed the story, you would get further and further access to the map. That's something I could see right there. But in this shot, she does have an ankle monitor on, which means, number one, she is released from prison, but is also being watched very, very closely and also cannot commit any crimes. You're not allowed to just go around and do whatever you want here. You get severe punishment if you're released from jail and you continue to do things like that. Now, we flash forward to the next time we see Jason and Lucia. Jason is driving, Lucia is in the passenger seat, and it looks like they are driving away from the scene of a crime. You can see that there are two police cars that are heading towards them, and they are driving away. And the police cars have their sirens on. You can see Jason is gripping the steering wheel with two hands, and he also looks at the police cars as they drive by. And as soon as they pass, he gives a very stern and slightly worried look to Lucia. So we know that at this point in time, or at least by this stage of the story, these guys are connected. Based on the ankle monitor we see with Lucia, it doesn't look like it would necessarily be a jailbreak situation. If you break out of jail, they're not going to give you an ankle monitor. You're just going to be wanted and constantly on the run. And I feel like that was kind of the story of Red Dead Redemption 2, always on the run. So I don't know if that's what Rockstar is going to go back to here. However, Jason could be responsible for trying to keep Lucia out of trouble. However, even if that is his objective, it still seems like they either have needs or wants to commit these crimes, whether it's on purpose or the fact that they need money, because in the next shot, we can see Lucia holding what looks to be thousands of dollars in her hands, $20 bills, $100 bills, and she turns her back looking at the cops as well. And I think we see the initial stages of the robbery that just took place in this shot right here. As you guys can see, they are wearing their bandanas and their balaclavas around their neck, and it is concealing their identities and their face. You can see Jason has money in his hand, Lucia has money in her hand, as they are both storming out of the store. And it looks like they're doing this relatively confidently, but the fact they're doing this to like a no-name convenience store in the middle of nowhere, to me suggests they very much need money. And also, going back to Jason's car, which we'll also see in a little bit, Jason does not drive this luxurious automobile like Michael DeSantis' tailgater in GTA 5. He drives a relatively older style car, which does suggest they might not have a ton of cash. And speaking of Jason's car, they are driving around the curve here, drifting and sliding. And I'll actually play you guys the audio in a little bit once we're done with all of this. But this doesn't look like they're actually escaping the cops here, as you can actually hear Lucia kind of squeal, and she even grabs onto the side of the car in sort of an exciting way. So it looks like they do have a relatively exciting and friendly relationship, and it looks like they're heading towards a motel. And this is where we learn that Jason and Lucia are romantically involved with each other. So obviously Rockstar is not going to show you everything here, but you can pretty much read between the lines. They're in this older hotel room. Jason is laying on the bed. He is shirtless. Lucia is on top of him, and she is in nothing but what looks to be just a black bra. So I think it's pretty clear here that they are romantically involved. She's got one hand on his shoulder, and she's got another hand on his chest. And it looks like they're having a very sort of deep after intimacy conversation here. And this is where I want to go back and let you take a listen to the audio that's played here, because there aren't many lines, and Lucia does most of the talking, and Jason really only says one word.
The only way we're gonna get through this is by sticking together, being a team. Trust?
Trust.
Lucia says the only way we're going to get through this is by sticking together, being a team, and then you can hear her giggling in the car. And she asks Jason almost a question, like, trust, do you trust me? And he says, trust, like, I agree, I got it. And that's the key word there, is trust. And I don't know if this is supposed to sort of foreshadow the end of the story, but I feel like Rockstar does a good job of giving us hints and clues at how things are going to end, even in the very first reveal trailers. So if the key word and theme here is trust, what's the one thing that can happen to trust? It can either be kept or it can be broken and betrayed. And I feel like that might be the route we have to take here, where one of our characters might not make it at the end of the story. You might have to choose between keeping both alive or maybe choosing some giant monetary sum, but one character doesn't make it. And that's the whole point of trust. And if they are going to be on this Bonnie and Clyde crime spree, then trust is a huge thing. And that's how the final scene ends, as they kick open the door to this convenience store and confidently walk in, guns drawn, with Glocks in hand, ready to rob and get the cash. And that's how things end. Now, another thing that I think is significant here is the trailer song that Rockstar used, Love is a Long Road by Tom Petty. And interestingly enough, Tom Petty's Twitter account and someone who runs it said, Tom loved contributing Running Down a Dream to Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, so it's an honor to have Love is a Long Road featured in Trailer 1 for Grand Theft Auto 6 from Rockstar Games. And Rockstar responded, we are honored and thank you, hashtag Petty Forever. And they even featured that sticker in the convenience store. So that's kind of a cool little nod and reference right there. But the meaning of that song is also interesting. So this song is about the difficulty of maintaining a relationship and the struggle to hold on to love. The song talks about a girl who cares about the narrator and tries to make his world better. However, despite their desperation to be with each other, the narrator realizes that love is not easy and requires effort. The song suggests that the road to love is never straightforward and there will be challenges and setbacks, but it's worth it to keep trying. So I do feel like at the end of the day, GTA 6 is going to be a love story. Yes, it's going to be about criminals, but I think love and trust is going to be the central theme at the end of this entire thing. And I feel like that does align with what Rockstar was probably trying to convey with this story, and that is their own sort of spin on Bonnie and Clyde. So that's really everything we know about Jason and Lucia, our two main characters in Grand Theft Auto 6, from everything that Rockstar has revealed in the very first trailer. They certainly didn't give away a lot, but we were kind of able to see how the story unfolds, the challenges that they have already, and what looks to be the underlying theme of our characters, and that is going to be trust. And the one sort of snippet we get that they might have a little bit of success through whatever their adventures are in the story comes from this one shot right here. You guys can see that Jason is driving, Lucia is standing up in the passenger seat, and it looks like there is a paparazzi or someone taking pictures of them. So it clearly looks like they've upgraded their status from their clothes to the car they are driving. So I feel like at some point during the story, Jason and Lucia do have success. It's just a matter of if that will all come crashing down by the time all things are said and done. But anyways, that right there is the complete story of everything we know so far about our main characters in Grand Theft Auto 6, Jason and Lucia. I can't wait to learn more about these individuals, but for now, I'd love to hear from you in those comments down below. What do you think the story of GTA 6 is going to be like? What character are you most looking forward to playing? And a whole lot more. If you guys did go on to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new. You want to stay up to date on all the GTA 6 videos that I'll be doing here on my channel. And be sure to ring that notification bell as well. Sometimes YouTube just doesn't work, and if you ring that bell, you'll always be guaranteed to be notified when new videos arrive. But of course, as always, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.